There's been a lot of discussion in the wake of the horrendous Charlie Hebdo attacks as to whether or not mainstream news media outlets should show the depiction of the Muhammad cartoon that started the controversy and was apparently the facilitating factor in the attacks that killed at least a dozen people. I'm of the very strong belief that every single media outlet that did not show the depiction of the Muhammad cartoon back when it became clearly newsworthy, especially after Charlie Hebdo was firebombed, the offices were a few years ago, is at least partially responsible here and has some blood on their hands, because if every media outlet had shown the Muhammad cartoon when it was newsworthy, there would have been far too many targets for Al-Qaeda to attack, and those at Charlie Hebdo would still be alive today. This seems rather obvious to any logical or thinking person, and even Ashley Banfield here on CNN appears to get the concept, but then we learn what the head of CNN News apparently told staffers, which is really quite extraordinary and disturbing in the midst of this interesting discussion.
But Brian, just quickly, is there much talk about those who are now suggesting it is time to start printing these things, provocative or not, because it flies in the face of being cowed and bullied into not being journalists?
Well, in particular, images of the Prophet Muhammad, that is a taboo, and that is something most media outlets have not done. We have seen some websites in the last 24 hours publish slideshows that include some of these images that the magazine published. CNN and most others are not, partly out of safety concerns. Out of the awareness that there are crews all over the world, lots of reporters in lots of places. Even if it's a stretch to suggest they could be in danger, it's not a risk that many major outlets want to take.
Well, and it is a very difficult.
You know, the
decision.
head of our network said this morning in our editorial meeting, he said, journalistically, yes, we want to show them, but as a manager, to make that decision, to put people in risk, that can't be done.
We have hundreds of employees all over the world, and it is a very difficult decision, and it remains a difficult decision for anybody in his shoes,
right.
In this kind of line of work, sadly, very
right.
sadly. Dean, thank you, I appreciate it.
That's really extraordinary. It appears as if Jeff Zucker is the one who's being referred to there as the head of CNN, telling his staff, look, journalistically, there's no doubt that we should be showing the Muhammad cartoons, but it's just not safe to do so. Sorry, folks, but first of all, that's stupid, because if every news media outlet did it, everyone would be safe. And two, that is extremely dangerous from a journalistic standpoint, because it's providing what is called the heckler's, or in this case, the terrorist's veto over what is allowed to be published and what is not. That, my friends, is the origins of the death of free speech, which we're seeing before our very eyes, as well as the death of innocent people. And it's outrageous, and CNN and others need to be called out on this. Thank you.